It's Atari. It's more retro techno shiz. So we basically wait for what must be nearly 6 years on my channel for anything to do with Atari, and what do we have? It's like UK buses, they all come along all at once. Back to Atari, back to the Lynx even. So not only is it Atari, it's actually about the Lynx again. Don't fall asleep, guys, don't fall asleep, it's all good, it's all retro goodness. When I was looking to repurchase the Lynx, something that caught my eye at the time, I did a little bit of research on this, and it was in respect of what available flash cards or carts were available for the Lynx, if any, and I actually stumbled across one, and it's this little beauty. I'm just wondering if we can focus in on that. There we go, little baby. Now, I decided to buy this at the same time as I bought the Lynx, and it was one of the reasons why I thought, yeah, actually I'll go and get the Lynx this time, just a little bit of play around with it. I had absolutely no intention really of collecting games for the Lynx. Some of you guys may do that for the Lynx. It wasn't something I was prepared to do, but I was more interested in the technical aspects, not to do with piracy or anything like that, but just to get another gadget, really, more than anything, working with the Lynx, even though undoubtedly I'll probably never end up using either to any great degree. But I was intrigued by the flash card. There isn't many of them available. I think there's only 2 types of flash card that are available for the Lynx, and this is one of them. This is one of them. And I've literally only just tried it because I've only just got into actually trying the Lynx for the previous video that I did. I have sat down with my Lynx tonight. I've gone through the process of using the flash card, and it all works fine. It is a little bit fiddly, but I'll sort of come on to that in a second. What I will do, guys, is I will put links in the comments to this video exactly where I bought the flash cart from. It was from a member of Atari Age, I think, forum, and he still appears to have some stock left. So if you're interested in it, then go and contact this guy in the link that I'll show below. I think, and it was some time ago now, but I don't think the cart was particularly cheap. I think I ended up, I'm sure it was around about 50-60 pound. It could have been slightly more. It's from Europe, from a guy in Germany. Yeah, I can't remember. It wasn't particularly cheap, but it does work. So like all the other flash carts that you can buy, and I'm sure you guys are aware of devices like the EverDrive for the Mega Drive, for the Super Nintendo, for the PC Engine, for the Nintendo, blah 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 blah. It's all the same principle. You can basically load a ROM file onto the card, and you can play it on the device that you want to play it on. Now, unfortunately, and I will say unfortunately, this type of card, and I believe that the other one that's also available, and I can't think for the life of me the name of that one, is also the same process in the way that it works, in that you can only have one game on the cart, or one ROM file on the cart at any one time. That is a bit of a bind. It goes without a doubt saying that, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And like I said, I never bought it, to be honest, to think, oh, I'm actually going to use this, so it's not really an issue for me. But it does work. That's the main thing. It actually does. It does what it says on the tin. Another downside of this specific cart is that it's not particularly user friendly. You have to use a terminal services Windows program, which, if you haven't got a clue what that is, you have to type commands into it to actually send options or send files to the actual card itself. So it hasn't got a pretty user interface in respect of an application that you use in Windows. You have to do it via terminal services, which is a bit of a it's okay once you get into it, once you know what you need to do. I would say that the manual for the card isn't particularly great. I struggled with it to begin with. I haven't used terminal service for years and years and years. I bet it's probably 15 years since I've used terminal services, and the manual wasn't particularly clear. So it took me about 20 minutes of trying some things to get things to work correctly. But once I got my head around it, it all works really easily. But because of the basic level of the cart and the software, there is no specific application being written for this cart to load files on, and it's not like it's not like an EverDrive where you just basically copy the ROM files onto memory card and put the memory card into the device, and the device got its own menu on it. It's not as slick as that, like nowhere near as slick as that. You have to put a bit more time and effort into getting things to work. There's various settings that you might have to change depending on the game ROM that you're using. So again, it's not like an EverDrive in respect of its usability. EverDrives are awesome for that, but this is a little bit more fiddly, but it does work, which is the main thing. Now, the device itself has got two memory banks on, which is that, I'm trying to get a focus here, which is that chip there and that chip there, and they're both 512K chips. Now, you can't fill both of them up at once. It just does a swap method. So when you erase or load a new file on, a new ROM file on, you don't have to wait for it to erase, because it will automatically in the background erase the spare or the unused at that point in time chip memory bank. So that's the reason why it's got two of those chips on there. You've got a couple of buttons. That one there is to, once you're in terminal services, you press that, and all this is in the instructions, but you press that button and it fires up a menu of options that you can choose from. But again, the corresponding choice that you put into terminal services is either a letter or number command, but it shows on the menu what letters or numbers you need to enter. And that button there is a reset button. And at the side of the device, you have a little mini USB connector, which is what you use to connect to your PC to transfer information, whether that's a game save or whether that is a ROM file. So like I said, once you initially get your head around it, it is very straightforward to work. Now, I won't go through the actual terminal services side of it, because it is all in the instruction manual. If you do decide to get one of these, guys, or anyone that sees this video, if you want to drop a comment, if there's something you're unsure about how it works or whatever, then just drop me a comment and I will do my best to help you out with that. But basically what you do is you plug in the device there, and actually let's just do that again. You'll see some lights flash up because it's connected to my PC. There you go. Some fairy lights pop up, and you basically go into terminal services and you tell it you want to write a file. You pick what the file is, it loads it onto the device. It can take up to about 30 seconds to do that, and you unplug it and you get the card and you obviously whack it into your Lynx. Now these cards, by the way, these specific cards are actually meant for the Lynx 2 device. I've got a Lynx 2, not for the Lynx 1. I think it's due to the cartridge slot and the way this sits in. I think you can damage it if it's on a Lynx 1. But anyway, it's if you got a Lynx 2, it'll work with a Lynx 2. So you bang it in the back like that, push it in. Obviously, all you got. I don't know if I'm showing you actually how to put a card in. And we hit the on button. Then you'll see that this should. Oh, would amplify. It needs power. It needs like 49 million watts of juice to get this powered up. And if we go click on, and you see the screen coming on, and there you go. And actually, the game that we got at the moment is the rather rare and hard to find Raiden, whatever you want to call it. So it's all working. And you see the cart at the back is accessing stuff or doing things. You got the red, or you did have the red light flashing. You just saw it once there, but it was flashing a bit. So it all works, absolutely works fine. And now, amazing enough, Raiden is one of the games that a number of sites recommend that you should get. Let's turn that down. I've played that quickly. It is absolute shit. It really is. And it's shit because of the control method. You try playing a game with your joypad down there or your control method down there and your fire button at the top. It feels so awkward. And you actually end up playing it side on, which that is what that's displaying at the moment. Oh, you're not going to see it very well. But that's actually sort of, yeah, it's not going to come out very well, is it? I've got too many lights on. But yeah, you actually end up playing it side on. And this game actually highlights the weakness of the D-pad. Yeah, the D-pad is pretty shit, I'm going to be honest. It's not, oh, I've gone orange. Auto white balance has obviously gone up the fritz. Let's see if we can solve that. Come on, it's coming back, it's coming back, it's coming back. Look at that, just by magic. Just by magic, it's coming back. That's better. Yeah, so it all works, guys. Is it really worth buying for a Lynx? Okay, if you're a knob like me, you're going to buy stuff like this because you just love buying shit. But I thought it was worth doing the video because I certainly wasn't aware that these flashcards existed. It wasn't something that well, I suppose there's not many Lynx in existence, is there? Let's be honest. But anyway, if you want to buy a flashcard, guys, for the Lynx, you can buy them. That's the little box it came in. It was actually really packaged up really well. You get a little bag, which is awesome. Bag, you just love bags, don't you? You get a little bag and you get a disc in it with the manual on there. There is a couple of applications. Sorry, there's one application which is the terminal services application. The manual actually provides a link to, and there's also a driver that you may need to install or may not. It depends. I'm on Windows 7. It picked it up and installed a driver from Windows Update, so I didn't have to do that process. But apart from just quickly getting your head around terminal services, it's absolutely fine. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Hopefully this was of some interest to some of you guys. I'll speak to you again soon.